curate the Black Star experience as contained in our manifesto and build on the gains that were made by previous efforts of your predecessor ministers. To Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed, not only will you...
And those were the words of President John Dramani Mahama to the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Madam Ablaji Fagomashi. She has a rich background in cultural advocacy, a passion for the arts. Well, she's expected to revitalize Ghana's tourism sector, promote the country's rich cultural heritage, and harness the creative arts as a driver of economic growth. Let's have a conversation on the back of this and speak with entertainment pundit Kenneth, who's joining us. Is a colleague here at Media General. Kenneth, good to have you on the lines. Good morning to you. What did you make of the advice the president gave to the now tourism minister?
Good morning, and good morning to all the listeners. Thank you so much for putting me on this conversation. I'm so excited about it as well. But first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Madam Ablaji Fagomashi, a veteran creative artist, for want of a better word. With advice from the president, I think it was in the right direction because there were a number of things that promised during the campaign and the manifesto and all of that to Ghanaians, and especially to those of us in the creative arts sector and the tourism industry. So with the likes of the Black Star experience, rightfully said, and also the tourist sites that have to be revamped and looked at and everything, it is something that we've all been looking forward to. With the Black Star experience, I'm hoping to see certain landmark events and landmark activities that would crystallize the whole idea. If you look at what have been experienced in the last couple of years here in Ghana, with the Beyond the Return standards that have been set and all that, the advice was, like I said, from the president, is to make sure that the minister in charge of this area or this sector, she's well versed, and she's reminded of the fact that we didn't come to play. We came to make a mark. We came to change the industry. We came to re-establish the fact that when we promise, we deliver.
Ken, still talking about the creative arts industry, you've been a major part, you've seen it all, traveled the entire length and breadth of the country, listened to music, and you rightly spoke about the tourism aspect as well. How do we now, with this new ministry and this new minister, begin to maximize the gains we have already made? My main question will be, how do we make money or commercialize the entire creative industry beyond tourism, beyond initiatives like Beyond the Return, maybe the country's music, the country's food, the entire culture of the country?
Okay, so if I got the question right, you're talking about how do we commercialize the creative arts industry?
Exactly.
Okay, good. So I think over the years and over the period, we've seen how things have worked in other parts of the world. We've seen, and there's a clear example of how the royalty system even in the UK works, where talents get to receive royalties every quarter. Without doubt, because the music or the songs that they produce are being utilized by TV, by radio, by events, hotels, and all that, whatever. And so it is one key area that we need to, and I pray that the Honorable Minister will take very, very serious so that we are able to rekindle that. I mean, it is happening. There are certain, as we speak now, Media General pays royalties on a yearly basis because they bring us that bill or invoice for that matter. And so it is just right. But unfortunately, these parties get to earn something very small at the end of the year. It's something that is very disheartening. We are looking at tourist sites. So tourist sites, I have traveled, like you mentioned, to most of these places, and it is not very encouraging when you're going to these places because of bad road network and a number of things that are not, pulling us there. So it's the pull factor. We would want to travel to Dubai because of the experience that you want to go through and see. You want to go to Kenya, you want to go to other parts of Africa because they have, proper infrastructure, proper systems that are pulling us to come there. And so it is very, very, very important that these areas, in terms of tourist sites, our history, even festivals, and all of these things are taken care of in a way that it is going to actually pull those of us in the country, first of all, because people are flying out of this country to go and spend a lot of money in Dubai and other places, but they find it difficult to travel to these very close by areas. You can go to the eastern region. There are beautiful places there, Volta region, Central region, Ashanti region, no Hafo region at all. These are places that can be well taken care of, that will pull those of us in the country to attend or to visit, and then once again pull people from outside the country to come. And that brings commercial value to it, that brings revenue, that brings money to the system, foreign exchange and everything. We are talking about creative arts once again. What about our movies? For the past number of years, our Honorable Minister is a movie person, is a film person, a stage person, is a producer, writer, and everything. So she knows the process and the value chain that we go through when producing movies. But in the last couple of years, we have not really seen the film industry or the movie industry, it's just surviving. It's not up to the standard that we are looking forward to or we are looking at. And so I pray again that she takes a very critical look at a particular area and bring commercial value to it, where we can have movies and venues and all of these things. So, in summary, we can look at all of these things, but I'm sure because she's been on that seat before, she has done her homework and will involve certain key stakeholders within the space and make, strong efforts, make strong moves to start building some of these areas gradually. It wouldn't take a day or two or a month or 3 or 6 or 1 year, but if the steps are taken, I'm sure some of these things can be resolved, and then we can begin to see the growth and the commercial sense in our creative arts space.
Ken, thank you so much. Back of this, Julius, pleasure talking to you on Sunrise. Talk to us about this 7-member committee for national economic dialogue. What exactly is expected of them, and how can they contribute anything to, like we expect, revamp a dead economy?
Thank you. Good morning, Noble. Thanks for having me. I think that the National Economic Dialogue Committee is in line with President Mahama's promise. And even before that, we are looking at the challenges of the economy. Before the elections, or even at the beginning of last 2 years, we realized that the economy has been one of the areas where we have to pay national attention to. So in line with all these challenges, difficulties as a country we've gone through with debt restructuring, with low revenues, we are talking about our cedi stabilizing, import prices and all that. We should be able to come to a consensus where as a country we'll be able to take that dialogue option to be able to facilitate the administration of our economy. And I think that in line with that, that is why President Mahama has put in place this National Economic Dialogue Committee to be able to bring the country together, unify the country in terms of the economy, and see how best we can fine-tune or shape the economic discourse of our country. I think that in simple terms, this reflects the objective of the Economic Dialogue Committee.
This morning, while we discussed this, the concern we had was the modus operandi of this committee. How should they gather the information that they need? Is it a public forum, a town hall meeting? What should be the approach to getting exactly the concerns of the people to influence the policy decisions so that they work on the mandate the president has tasked them to?
Wonderful. I think that this has also primarily been some of us our concern, but as the name implies, it's a national thing. One of their modus operandi, without preempting whatever, because we are not members of the committee, so they are not going to meet and set up their modus operandi and how they even operate. But as an analyst, we can, discuss around it. Since it's a national thing, over the period, some of the conferences, the forums, the workshops, the dialogues that we have had has just been having a conference at a venue where we invite panelists, they are guests as well, chairman of committee, there's plenary sections, you discuss at the end, then you issue a communique on the things that we have discussed in or around the conference. Then we present a paper to those that would be able to shape policy. So if it is going to be of that sort, then it means that they will have to stage a location, say the conference center, the National Theatre, or the whatever. Then people will come in, they will invite people from academia, the business community, whether it is AGI or GUTA, with all freight forwarders, everybody, then they will come and represent and dialogue. Then we discuss the fortunes of the economy. But what we would want to propose is that all these methodologies or procedures that we use to organize a conference are just being one way. So we are looking at if they can decentralize how they are going to facilitate some of these workshops and dialogue around the country, breaking it down to the municipal level, the district level. Because what we've witnessed is that every single district in the country has a peculiar economic environment. Some district has more economic resources. As we've seen in the mining areas, they can contribute to generate more revenue for the district. Other areas are farming communities. The kind of revenues a district that has more mineral resources can generate will be more than those in the farming communities and all that. So if we're able to bring this dialogue down to the district levels, to the various towns, so that we can really map the way our economic districts are, then they can be in a better position to advise the president as to how maybe the way forward will be able to plan around our economy. If that is done, I believe that it will really help well. But if it is going to be a national thing that they will stage a location in Accra or maybe Kumasi or Takrade, and then the usual maybe a 2-day event or a 3-day event. It's just going to take the shape of the usual conference that we have. At the end of the day, a communique is presented and then we don't see its implementation. So I believe that with all humility, the committee will be able to look at some of these areas that we have about 76 constituencies representing districts in the country. Each district has a peculiar or a unique economic environment. How do we map up this dialogue to be able to advise carefully what each district is producing into the national GDP? One of the things I find it interesting in the NDC's manifesto, like the finance minister said, that we have to move from the macro into the micro. So if we want to do the micro, then we have to come down, look at the behavior of each district, how people are really economically empowered, how the government puts in money to take care of that, but towns, villages, districts. And in doing that, we take advantage of what that particular town, district, village has to offer the national economy. Then we can shape it up to bring up to the national level, where planning, policy administration, policy integration will be able to champion some of these economic fortunes of our country, because we are still in the research mode, and we should be able to take advantage of whatever the country has had to offer the citizenry. Then we can all benefit from the resources that is being placed in the country.
Julius, thank you so much. There are 4 weeks to submit a report. If they do well, they do it to the benefit of all of us. And if they are not able to do it too, Julius Jima is a tax expert who spoke with us there. Well, happening right now is the Minister Designate for the Northeast region and Dr. Frank Amwakohene, Minister Designate for the Ashanti region, as well as Akamugri Atanga Donatus, Minister Designate for the Upper East region. Let's now cross over to Parliament as Emmanuel Amakofibua faces the Appointment Committee.
Sure that the people of Ghana are not shortchanged.